Ladies and gentlemen, we have another brand new bowling ball from Storm Bowling announced today, the Rockstar Amped. This is a pearl version of that original Rockstar. Today, we're going to dig into exactly what this ball is going to do, where it's going to fit compared to all of the other symmetrical pearls that are on the market today, and if you really need one or not. This video is sponsored by No Thumb Nation. Our good friends over there have the Rockstar Amped already on their website. We're going to check out that price and release date a little bit later. Huge thank you to them. If you have any bowling needs that you have, go check them out. But let's get into our video for the Rockstar Amped. This bowling ball, like I said, is just a Pearl Rockstar. It has the same exact Rockstar AI core, and now instead of the Nanostar solid cover, they just switched it to Nanostar Pearl. They just made a Pearl version of the same exact cover. What is that gonna do? Let's get into some of the marketing mumbo jumbo first, which isn't really gonna tell us much, and then let's get into the actual numbers and the specs and all that jazz. So, revolutionary new Nanostar technology, reactive cover, factory shine, steals the show. Okay, they use a lot of Rockstar lingo, not surprising. Nanostar Pearl cover is designed to grip the lanes like a guitar solo. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, that doesn't tell us anything. Overall, one, I'm disappointed by the name. I had somebody in my Discord who wanted this to be called the Pop Star. I thought that was way cooler instead of Rockstar Amp, but I guess, you do you, Roto marketing department. Let's look at it though. Rocker AI core. This core had a 2.48 RG 050 differential. That made it a little bit weaker than the Phase 2 core, and that was really the problem with the original Rockstar. Really good ball. I really like mine. I really like that in the Phase 2, but they are very, very close if you drill them the same with the same exact surface. You don't need both of them. That was the biggest issue with the original Rockstar. So the Pearl version, of course, is going to have a problem with the Phase AI. The Phase AI has a stronger core than the original Phase, so it's going to be much stronger than the Rockstar core, but what is the cover stock going to do is going to be the really big question out of all of these. So why I explain that is because Storm also has other symmetrical pearl balls that are on the market that are really good. Zen 25 is still out there. You still have the Ember that just released back in August. You have all of those in that medium strength cover stock core combo, but still being angular down lane. So our medium sharp category is littered with all of those bowling balls that are really close to each other. So do you need this Rockstar Amped if you have a Phase AI, if you have an Ember, if you have a Zen? We're going to get into that. We have a little comparison later to actually be able to see what Storm says the numbers are. But overall, that is all Storm has. They unfortunately forgot to put the new 1 to 10 ratings for every single category of a ball that they've been doing. They just didn't put it on the Rockstar Amped, which is a little unfortunate. I found it on another page. But while we look at this, let's first check out the 900 Global Ember and how is that going to compare. 900 Global Ember has a 2.49 RG, but a much, much lower 044 differential. Now I have the Ember. I actually have all the bowling balls we're going to mention. The Ember, it wants to seem like it's weaker, but the cover is pretty strong. So that one's a little more cover dependent. Now the question is a Rockstar Amp going to be cover or core dependent? With Nanostar Pearl being a brand new cover stock, we have very little to go off of. Unfortunately, in the bowling world, we don't have much that we can base a cover stock on because there's no numbers. It's usually just words and just random names. Like, what is Nanostar Pearl? We don't know because that's really all the info they give us. So a little bit unfortunate on that front. Move over to the Phase AI, and we have that TX16 Pearl, correct? TX16 Pearl, yes. This has a 2.47 RG, lower differential, higher, or lower RG, higher differential. So the Phase AI's core is going to want to hook earlier. But we go to Storm's new ball comparison guide, and this really tells the story. I know this isn't the most accurate thing in the world. I've disagreed with a few of these numbers in the past, but looking at these three balls is very interesting. So right now we have the Rockstar Amped. Flare potential, very, very high. I don't know if it should be that high. They might base this off of the RG. I'm not really sure. They should base it off differential. Ball shape is closer to that angular, but it's actually more in the middle. This is surprising. I expected the Rockstar Amp to be the quickest pearl bowling ball that Storm has in that medium category, but based on Storm's guide, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little bit smoother. Kind of interesting on that front. Hook length, medium to late, that makes sense. It's a pearl cover, symmetrical core. Oil volume, right in the smack. We can ignore oil volume usually. This doesn't really help us with a whole lot. Pattern length, a little bit of everything. Lane condition, a little more on the transition side. So we see these numbers. Let's go over to the Phase AI. Now, if we look at this, Phase AI, I, I, the flare potential is lower, even though the core is stronger. I don't know what that's about, but they do have slightly more angular ball shape on the Phase AI and a later hook window. This makes sense. The Phase AI is interesting. It's a lot cleaner than people think, but its hook window is so tiny. When it wants to start hooking, it immediately goes. The Rockstar amp, just based on these raw numbers and based on the Rockstar itself, and just in the past, what we saw with like the Idle Pearl or things like that, or the TNT Infuse, its hook window is bigger. That means it's going to be a little rounder of a pearl ball, and that's what you as a consumer want to see more than the super quick motion and then roll forward. The rounder ball motion is like what we see on the GB5 Pearl from Ebonite, where it is that much more usable reaction for both tournaments and league patterns. You don't want that super quick V-shaped motion that really doesn't give you good ball motion. That's going to leave a lot of 9 pins, 10 pins, just a lot of gross stuff too. A lot of 3-4 combos. So this Rockstar amp looks like it wants to be a little bit rounder, a little bit smoother than some of the other Pearl balls. Now let's go to the Ember. The Ember flare potential is much lower. Makes perfect sense. Differential is lower. The ball shape is a lot of places. It has an extra mark closer to angular, but it's the same thing. Hook window is nearly identical, so unfortunately we can't get much between what's the difference between the Ember and the Rockstar Amped. I have a feeling that the Ember is going to be about a half of a step below the Rockstar Amp just based on that core technology. Unless the cover of this Rockstar Amped is super, super strong, that's going to be the one reason that it would be somehow weaker than an Ember. But overall, it looks like, based on Storm right now, based on the little info we have, going to go Rockstar Amped into a Phase AI, into the Ember. Now, where does the Zen 25 fit? Above all of those. While the core is stronger, the cover is also much, much stronger. So it's going to go Zen 25, down to the Rockstar Amp, down to the Phase AI, down to the Ember. Do you need all of those bowling balls? No, please do not buy all 4 of those bowling balls. You could have 2. You could have a Zen and a Phase AI, or a Zen and an Ember, or an Amped and an Ember. I don't recommend having more than 2, though. It's a lot of bowling balls that are very close together. So a little bit surprising to see this come out when it does, because Storm has so many bowling balls that are right next to each other. So the big question is, how is this ball going to be different than the other ones that Storm has on the market right now? That's what we're going to be looking for when ball reviews are coming out, when this ball is actually fully released to the public, and all of that. The release date, by the way, is 10/24, a week before Halloween. So we're going to have the Equinox Solid released on 10/17, Rockstar Amped released on 10/24. A little bit of a staggered release from Storm. They don't do this ever, so this is a little bit surprising. So I'm curious how the sales numbers do when we see that. Now, we go back to our friends at NoThumbNation.com, NoThumbNationBowling.com, and we have the Rockstar Amped here. $165, really good price. I really, really like that price for a ball of this strength. I think that's pretty decent. Unfortunately, the Ember is $10 more expensive. I don't know why. That ball was pretty pricey. If we look at the Phase AI, I believe it's $175. So that one's also $10 more. So if you want the cheapest medium sharp option from the Storm brands, the Rockstar Amped is going to be your best play. A little bit surprising that it's cheaper than everything else, but you know, let's not complain. I have had some people reach out already who had this ball get leaked and had the ball early, and they said they really like this thing on house shots. So there's already a higher echelon right now of how this thing looks on house shots. However, I was doing some scrolling for past reviews, and there were people who were saying that some awful, awful bowling balls the last 2 years are the greatest thing ever. So, you know, a little different there, but hopefully this Rockstar Amp is going to be really good for those house shots and actually usable for those tournament shots. While Storm has a lot of bowling balls in those categories, not many are that popular right now. You don't see the Phase AI very often. I know a lot of you like it, but a lot of tournament guys do not like it at all. Not many guys are throwing the Ember, so hopefully this is the ball that really picks it up for Storm in that category. But like I said, October 24th, hopefully we're able to get our hands on this one a little bit early. We're going to do what we can to try to get you guys a ball review, get you an unbiased look on what this Rockstar Amped is going to be. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. Really, really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one.